You are listening to Radio Long Island City, recorded at our studios near Hell Gate, 9 kilometers north of the Harbor Hill Moraine. And now, the Observatory. The Observatory, Monday the 31st of March, 2025. It is 11 days after the spring equinox. It is 81 days before the summer solstice. For many, today is the day they will be celebrating Eid al-Fitr. By the French Republican calendar, it is the 11th day of Germinal, the day of the Pervenche, the periwinkle. The sun rises today at 6:40 a.m. Solar noon takes place today at 1 p.m. The sun sets today at 7:20 p.m., civil twilight ends at 7:47 p.m., and nautical twilight ends at 8:20 p.m. The length of daytime today is 2 minutes, 41 seconds longer than yesterday. The moon is in its waxing crescent phase and is 8% full at midday. The first quarter will arrive on Friday, the 4th of April. These are the predicted tides today for Horns Hook. In the middle of the night, high tide, 12:11 a.m., 1 meter 92. In the morning, low tide, 6:23 a.m., minus 18 centimeters. Near midday, high tide, 12:42 p.m., 1 meter 65. In the evening, low tide, 6:34 p.m., minus 6 centimeters. This is the Monday Reservoir Report for New York City. In the Delaware watershed, Cannonsville, 93% full. Papacton, 85% full. Neversink, 84% full. Rondout, 94% full. In the Catskill watershed, Schoharie, 101% full. Ashokan, 92% full. And in the Croton system, 95% full. In our shared realm of plants and animals, humpbacks and other whales are migrating north to the Gulf of Maine. You can potentially spot one at Rockaway Beach or at Staten Island's beaches using strong binoculars or a spotting scope. Commemorations. On this day in 1492, the Alhambra Decree was issued by Queen Isabella of Castile. It required Jews and Muslims in Spain either to convert to Christianity or to be expelled. A dark moment in history that ended centuries of faiths living side by side in the Iberian Peninsula. On this day in 1930, the Motion Picture Production Code was introduced. It is often referred to as the Hays Code, after Will H. Hays, who was president of the Motion Picture Producers and Distributors of America. It severely restricted what could be shown in movies in the United States. Among its provisions, here's one. The sympathy of the audience should never be thrown to the side of crime, wrongdoing, evil, or sin. It also enjoined that excessive and lustful kissing, lustful embraces, suggestive postures and gestures are not to be shown. And, in general, passion should be so treated that these scenes do not stimulate the lower and baser element. On this day in 1932, 500 wild swans were swept over Niagara Falls. 150 of them died. It was a freak accident of nature, in which the huge flock landed in the river above the falls, and changes in wind direction and pack ice drove them over the Horseshoe and American Falls. The lower river that day was filled with dead and wounded swans. On this day in 1933, the Civilian Conservation Corps was established under President Franklin D. Roosevelt. It provided work for many of the unemployed during the Great Depression. Their labor was used for innumerable public works projects that benefit us to this day. On this day in 1949, the Dominion of Newfoundland joined the Canadian Confederation and became the 10th province of Canada. On this day in 1914, Octavio Paz, the great Mexican poet and diplomat, was born. He once wrote, "Merece lo que sueñas." One deserves what one dreams. And he also wrote, "Una civilización que niega a la muerte acaba por negar a la vida." A civilization that denies death ends up denying life. And finally, we send birthday greetings to Christopher Walken, born this day in 1943. The famous American actor of stage and screen is, of course, a native son of Astoria. His family's store, Walken's Bakery, was for many years a fixture of Broadway. Happy birthday, Christopher Walken. And that is the Observatory, Monday the 31st of March, 2025.